before the viewing. All right. Calm down. Yes. There's going to be a new imperial propaganda coming on in, and it should be pretty good. Wait, what? You already seen it? I thought we agreed. You let me see it before you, and okay, Trooper, why are you annoyed? Okay, good. You are following orders. All right, good. So, should I keep my blaster nearby though as I watch it? Really? I thought all that blaster fire was. Oh, that was you. Is that why you don't have a? That's why you don't. That's why you. Okay, this is why you keep losing your blaster privileges, alright? You've got to keep your anger under control, man, okay? Right. So, look, I'm going to go review it, and then me and you can discuss not only your anger problem, but also... What do you mean the troops shouldn't see it? It says literally Tales of the Empire. It should be specifically made for the new troopers coming on in. Okay, fine. Thank you for the forecast. Now, go to Chow. Calm down. Don't grab your blaster. Don't grab it. Good. All right. I see you at Chow, buddy. All right. Good. When you try to stay out of spoiler territory as a nerd, it's kind of hard to do. Well, I gotta get this video made, and I gotta make sure I get this video to cover all of it before Acolyte drops. Okay. I got how long? Okay. Yeah, I should be able to do it. Let's see how bad it is. After viewing. Blast. Right. This is going to be a two-part video. Tales of the Empire. How good is it? Well, if you stick around for that crappy little bit I just did, if you were to give me a scale, I would say 3 out of 5. The whole thing. If you were to just binge the whole thing, 3 out of 5. Right? Can I cover all 6 episodes in this one video? No. Just because of real life stuff. As was implied before, I unfortunately saw little tidbits of blurps online saying how possibly bad and not good this version of Tales of series is compared to Jedi. When things finally calmed down in my life, before I watched Tales of the Empire, I decided to rewatch Tales of the Jedi, thinking, okay, let's see what they got right, let's see what they got wrong. So, if you haven't seen Tales of the Empire, at least the 3 episodes dedicated to Morgan Elsbeth, which is what this video is going to be talking about, please turn away now, watch those 3 videos, then come back, 3 episodes, sorry, then come back to me, and then I can share you my thoughts. So, both me and you watching this are caught up on the same page. Sound good? Sound good. Alright. See you when you get back. Now, for the rest of you, I'm going to assume that you've seen those 3 episodes. Alright? Let's talk about them. Similar to my Bad Batch series, break down, tell you what happens, but instead of saying what I think is going to happen next, I'm just going to tell you what I like and disliked about it. Sound good? Good. So, episode 1, Morgan Elsbeth, backstory. Right. first of all, a question has to be asked, actually, before we get into this. How many people were actually wondering the backstory of Morgan Elsbeth? It was pretty much explained well enough in The Mandalorian. And I don't think it was touched upon in Ahsoka, but her character explained herself pretty well in that. But no, this is Disney trying to answer a few questions. Okay, fair enough. You know what? Maybe tying in some questions and some little plot holes that came up in The Mandalorian and her entrance might actually be kind of cool to answer, you know? However, they kind of flailed a bit with it. We find out that she's not exactly good at leading raids. Alright, let's just get to the episode now. So, we see it starts out with a droid attack on her village. And pretty cool action, really dark tone. We get to see Grievous being evil and kind of scary, which, okay, that's kind of cool. We get to see our second favorite robot boy finally get some proper screen time, and that's the last we see of him. We don't actually get to dive into his backstory, which it would have been cool. It would have been cool if we actually got one episode of the Tales of series explaining Grievous' backstory. But they're probably going to save him for Tales of the Sith, or a different Tales of series. You know, Tales of Droids, or something goofy like that. I don't know. I'm not in charge of Heli, right? Thankfully. Or unthankfully. We'll find out later on. So, droids attack her home village. Home village gets raised. She sees her people die. It's tragic, sad music, but her people put up a decent fight. As much as decent fight as you can with basically laser bows and arrow and Dark Sister Enchanted. Apologies. Dark Sister Enchanted weapons. Which is kind of cool to see, actually. But she barely survives it. But she gets taken in by an Ur village. Okay, pretty cool, you know. The Ur village, as she wakes up, is like, yo, sorry what happened to you. Sorry what happened to your village, but as angry as you are, you probably shouldn't go after them. How about you just calm down, chillax? But she just wakes up and she wants violence. She's plotting violence. And she comes up with an idea about doing a raid on the Separatists. Which goes poorly, because there did seem to be a phase where as she was rounding up people, it's like, oh, you doubt me? I'm going to prove to you I'm right. I'm going to prove to you I'm better. I'm going to prove to you why we should do this. You're going to take your weapons and you're going to follow me, or you cannot. But either way, we're going to try to. What we're going to do is we're going to try to avenge my people. Unfortunately, she forgot one of the biggest rules of warfare. If you're ever recruiting somebody, make sure they actually know how to fight. Because the people she brought along with her, gone. Like, she literally led them to their death. Okay. But she survives, barely, again, when the village elder, just kind of seeing the lack of people in her village, shows up, sees her people going into the raid, dying, and kind of does a cool Avatar-esque entrance, knocking out the remaining of the droids, but also finding most of her village people dead. I will give Disney credit. They're going darker with these episodes, which is the edgy boy in me is kind of saying, yeah, cool, but also the storyteller in me is like, that's still kind of sad. So the village leader basically outcasts her, and with that answers, okay, how was the raid that wiped her village was? And was there a kind of redeemed shot? Was there another chance? Was there another tribe that took her in? Which it did. Did those questions need to be answered? Not really. Again, she explained, the writing for her was pretty well explained, but it is actually nice to see what happened to her early past, so that does kind of help us. Now, let's talk about the second episode. The second episode, I could see why a lot of people kind of got more annoyed. at least this portion of the series. Starts out with her basically kind of giving a little classroom conference saying, hey, you see this TIE fighter that has shields? It would be great if you invested in it and help your fighter pilot survive because shields. The Empire just kind of looks at that, says, hey, yeah, no, too expensive. Too expensive. It's a waste of time. Our fighters are durable enough, and well, we really don't need to tweak the engine as much. Except for one officer. One officer comes up to her and says, like your spirit kid, but yeah, why? She answers, well, for the glory of the Empire, and it would actually be kind of nice to make sure the Navy part and the fighter part of the Navy actually survives longer, and also my planet that I kind of control has the resources to help you out. I'll tell you what, I like your energy, we reject your design, but we'll take the resources on your planet. She goes back home. Her home doesn't like hearing that news. As a matter of fact, a riot kind of almost starts when she tells the news, but it's not really shown. And it's that's kind of another disappointing thing with the series. It's like it shows the recipe for something good, but then they toss it out. Not exactly comforting, Disney. I'm not going to lie. Not exactly comforting for what you're doing to these characters here. So, but as she's looking at the villagers, one night afterward, she's just standing there overlooking with her robot guard following her. They don't know me. How dare they get annoyed at something I said I would do to them, and then they didn't get anything out of it. Do they realize I am trying to protect these people? Basically, that whole "I am better than them, how dare they" speech. Which she gets interrupted by an assassin. The assassin, I am actually surprised, almost does a good job almost killing her, but she recovers back and doesn't kill him. Not what I was expecting, to be completely honest. Especially with how much of a force of power and reckoning, again, her debut in the Mandalorian series was. So, there is that. What stops the assassin from actually killing her is the Imperial officer that said, hey, I like your spirit, kid, but we'll take your resources. That dude, he comes and says to her, yay, easy. We just gave you a test. You did good. Hey, assassin alien, you're done here. So she turns around, just like, wait, what? Yeah, no, we were just testing you. We wanted to see how you could control things. And, I mean, your village didn't rise up in rebellion when they saw the assassin, and you were able to fight off the assassin. Yeah, we trust you. We'll stay in touch. The Imperial officer goes away. And then, one really big character that was really teased in the Tales of the Empire, Thrawn shows up. And answers the question, how does Thrawn know her? Well, this whole conversation between the two, Thrawn essentially predicts the demise and the fall of the Empire. So, claiming, while her design was actually really smart and good, because of how the Empire system pretty much breeds not only corruption and weakness, which destines it to fall, it would actually be a waste of her abilities to go whole hog into the Empire. But follow him instead. Things could happen. This answers why in Ahsoka. I probably should have said spoiler warning, but honestly, because Ahsoka's been out by now, yeah, I'm not going to be as sympathetic for if I spoil a piece of Ahsoka. Anyway, explains why we see troopers with Thrawn. It explains why we see some of the Imperial stuff left over under Thrawn's control. Basically, this episode answers the connection to Thrawn and how probably he was able to get all those resources post fall of the Empire. The resources she would build up and send to him during the reign of the Empire, then the Empire rejected. I mean, it makes proper sense, you know? So I will give the episode points there. And then the third episode. Third episode, we fast forward to New Republic timeline. Apparently, one of the natives of the village that she protects, basically controls, is a representative of the New Republic. She comes on down to town and says, "Hey, the New Republic wants you part of the system. We could work things out. You know, you get a fair trial. Your crimes are known, Elspeth, but we could work things out. You know." Morgan says, "Oh, really? Yeah, no, absolutely not. No, kill her." Fight ensues, and the running fight between the New Republic and her men, is actually kind of the best fight out of the 3 episodes. Just because of how close this village had their shot at actually escaping her, you know, actually stopping her. But she unfortunately guns down the representative, blows up the ship, and just to add insult to injury, torches the forest outside her village. So to those who are playing Star Wars Bingo and trying to figure out how many questions just got answered in this episode, well, all the questions leading up to her episode appearance on The Mandalorian. Now, just based on these 3 episodes, were these episodes good? Yes and no. It's good answering questions that did kind of pop up during her entrance in The Mandalorian and her tie to Thrawn. So, it does answer that, which is kind of cool. Here's where it's not good. How things are answered. Specifically, one contention I actually do have with those 3 episodes is it could have been solved, at the risk of sounding like Star Wars Theory, and other Star Wars channels, it could have been solved in 1 episode. Was this needed? Not really. And in terms of lore building, it kind of wrote itself in a way. In terms of, okay, well, how she was able to keep control of the village, it was pretty obvious again, Mandalorian. She had quite amount of men and guns with her. But there are some questions I wish these 3 episodes actually answered. How she came in control of the village. It's kind of a throwaway line that one of the main villagers says, "Yeah, we shouldn't have accepted her, but we did accept her in when she said she could actually help us out," you know? Which, okay, I'll give that, but why tell? Why not show? You know, it could have just been a simple little flash forward scene, you know? Also, the mountain people that she was with, what happened to the mountain elder that actually kind of barely saved her people, you know? Is that little village still on the same planet where all that thing was? No, actually it's not, because she actually says when the New Republic representative brings up the point, you don't have to burn down everything, and she says, "My homeworld has been burning since I was young," and then all the fight goes happen. So it is implied that she did leave her home planet into this planet, but it's not. The line delivery is not well executed. That's probably what makes this so annoying for fans watching this series, hoping for some answers to some questions that they have, you know? But I could just be really hoping that they write their bad guy smarter, and maybe might be in the minority. Now, just this part of the Tales of the Empire, do I recommend people to drop everything and go watch it? Not really. I mean, if you're a fan of Morgan Elsbeth and Mandalorian, yeah, these 3 episodes are up your alley. But after her introduction, I don't remember too much noise of saying, hey, we want some more of her, or little bits and pieces of it. I could be wrong, you know? But with how many Star Wars-based YouTubers I follow, she barely came up in any videos. So, I do have a couple theories why, though, they made these 3 episodes dedicated to her. Number 1, she is going to appear in the Mandalorian movie. And this is Disney poking really, really hard. Hey, watch Mandalorian. Hey, watch Mandalorian. Hey, watch Mandalorian. Have you seen Mandalorian yet? Have you seen Mandalorian yet? That's what it feels like with this character, unfortunately. And that's what kind of drags these 3 episodes down. But if you haven't seen The Mandalorian, I could see a potential seed, like, okay, so when does she appear again? When does she appear again in your giant library of Disney Plus shows? Disney. The problem is she doesn't appear too fast in The Mandalorian, so that fan that wants to know more about her before seeing Mandalorian has to dig through The Mandalorian about 2 seasons in. I mean, Mandalorian Season 1 is a good show. I still need to rewatch 2 and so on. But I have fond memories of Season 1. If you haven't seen Mandalorian Season 1 at least, I'd recommend you do so. So, how would I write these 3 episodes about her if I were in the shoes of the writers? I could give her 1 long episode. Alright? Or, if I was forced to dedicate 3 episodes to her, I would try to handle the line deliveries of explaining how she was able to control the village out of nowhere. I would have tried to show a scene of the village reacting to her like, hey, girl, you okay? How can we help you? And then through one deed and another, showing how she was able to gain control of the village. You know, did she assassinate her way up? Did she gain the hearts and minds of the village and said, hey, the Empire could help? Which it is implied and said. You said you could help the Empire could help us, and her coldly saying, yeah, they just wanted the resources. Sorry, guys. If you need me, I'll be in my little castle. That's kind of insultingly hand-wavy, if that makes sense to the audience. So I will try to written a better line delivery of her answering the questions. I would have done more Grievous, you know. I would have actually had Grievous be more of a bigger influence in the first episode. Maybe try to have him appear in the second episode, you know. But I also just want a good episode from Star Wars, probably a Tales of series in the Clone Wars animation style of them showing Grievous' actual origin, you know. Yes, those of us fans who are Grievous, we know what the origin is. It would just be cool to see them bring him to life, alright? But we'll see if they make a Tales of the Sith, which that'll probably be the only type of shot of that kind of story to be shown. Now, as current standing, Tales of the Empire, the 3 Morgan Elsbeth episodes, where would I rate them? I would give it a 2.5 out of 5. I say 2.5 because it is close to getting a 3, but again, with the execution of all the questions that they answer, with how kind of ham-fisted it feels, I'm gonna have to give it 2.5. It's not it is annoying, but I didn't feel too insulted. I didn't feel too angry at it. I also didn't feel drop everything and go see this right now. Drop everything and go see this right now. You have to for the YouTube and all that. It just, I mean, because it dropped from YouTube, yes. But if I was just a casual fan that did no Star Wars content for my YouTube and focused on my monologue and nerd stuff, I would check this out in terms of, cool, they made another Tales show. Alright. There isn't much draw. And also the comparison between Tales of the Jedi and Empire out loud, you're probably going to get a lot more substance out of Tales of the Jedi, just because of actually how well the 3-story format for both Ahsoka and Dooku actually help breathe in those series. Help the characters breathe. Help the stories breathe. These 3 episodes about Morgan Elsbeth, though, it was able to breathe a little bit, but not in the breath of Tales of the Jedi. That's why it's a 2 out of 5. So, next video. I hope I'll be able to cover the 3 episodes dedicated to a character whose name I keep forgetting because she barely shows on up. But essentially, you remember the Jedi that Ahsoka kind of helped get locked away? It's going to be about those 3. Those 3 are going to be about her. Alright? So, my next video I'm planning on is doing that, if not Acolyte. It depends on how much time I have for one or the other. That's literally just how my schedule is right now. Then there's going to be my D&D video coming up on next Monday, which, if you don't know, I've started a D&D campaign with my buddies where I basically say, here's what happened last time. If you haven't seen that video yet, I'd highly recommend, just because it's probably my second longest on this whole channel, and I get less annoyed sounding in terms of trying to describe what I want the story to be versus what actually happened. Alright? So, if you want to check out that video, by all means. If you want to see my thoughts on the Bad Batch series as it came out episode per episode, I also made a series about that. And if you want to check out my acting skills, whether how good or bad it is, I did do a monologue a couple weeks back too. So, until next time, my fellow Star Wars fans, may the Force be with you. And of course, anybody celebrating Pride Month, have a good Pride Month. Stay safe. Know that you're loved. And there's always somebody to help you. Alright? And those of you who are not celebrating Pride Month, it's okay. Just don't be an asshole about it. Alright? That's all we're asking. Till next time, the Seal of 9, out.